Now, in its 11th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
The Ramble with Alex Bennett. Tonight at 10:30 Eastern on GabNet.
GabNet has been around for over 13 years, but Alex Bennett, who created it, has been podcasting for over 37 years. At that time in 1989, Alex was fired the first time from Live 105 in San Francisco. And to keep in touch with his listeners, he did a short daily program that his fans did download. He was then approached by a nerd fan who had created a program he called Auto Alex that they would download and would allow people to set their computer to detect new editions and automatically download a new program. In subsequent years, when the iPod was invented, the term podcasting came into being. You might say that Alex and his friend created the method, the technology, and the concept that later became what is now known as podcasting. That makes GabNet 13 years old, and Alex Bennett 37 years of podcasting. Talk like you never heard it before.
Ships Intercession tonight at midnight Eastern on GabNet.
Attention, all space enthusiasts and lovers of lighthearted banter. Prepare for an intergalactic journey like no other. Welcome to The Exchange with your stellar host, Damian Chaplin.
Hey, sci-fi fans, it's Damian Chaplin, and I'm thrilled to invite you to The Exchange, where we dive into the cosmos of light talk and my unbridled love for all things sci-fi, especially Star Trek.
Every Mondays at 9:30 p.m., join Damian as he navigates the galaxy of casual conversation, sprinkled with humor, insights, and a healthy dose of sci-fi geekery. It's not just a show, it's a rendezvous with the stars.
From the latest in entertainment to the wildest theories in the sci-fi universe, we're breaking it all down at The Exchange. And, of course, we're boldly going where no show has gone before.
But wait, there's more. Engage with Damian in lively discussions and share your favorite sci-fi programs and movies. The Exchange is your space to connect, laugh, and geek out with the best of them. Set your coordinates and join Damian Chaplin at The Exchange.
See you at 9:30 on Mondays on GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Now more than ever, it's a breeze to listen to all that GabNet has to offer. Just go to gabnet.net, and along the top of our easy-to-use webpage are a series of links to all the services that carry our latest offerings. Click on YouTube, Facebook, and Vimeo, and you'll be taken to video of Alex Bennett's Ramble. Tap on TuneIn, and you'll go to our 24/7 feed of all our programs, plus a real-time stream when our shows are live. For those of you who have a Roku device, click and you'll be taken to a page that will install our GabNet app, so you can enjoy our channel, which is rich with features that go well beyond our daily programs. Then, for archives of all our recent shows, press the Spotify, Pandora, or Stitcher tabs. Finally, Alex Bennett can be heard via the iHeart button. But if you're not at your computer, just download the app for any of these services and you'll find us there. Mobile. Of course, all GabNet shows are on iTunes. With all these options, you have no excuse not to listen to GabNet, unless you'd rather listen to one of those millions of other people who have podcasts. In which case you can blow me.
Hello there, I'm Amy Manuel, and Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday nights at midnight Eastern, I host the Intersection here on GabNet, and boy do we get into everything. My passion is politics, but my fun thing to do is engage in trivia. Put those two things together and it is a sure recipe for an engaging hour of talk with a bunch of really smart people joining me on Zoom. You can get my Zoom address at gabnet.net and then you too can be part of the program. I hope you can join me here on GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Now, in its 11th year, This is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Yes, live from Harlem in New York City. It's me. I'm Alex Bennett. And this is the Ramble.
Ladies and gentlemen, he lives out on the west coast of the United States in San Francisco, where there's a bum sleeping in every doorway and a tent on every street. Oh, boy.
And the Salesforce building is virtually empty.
The Salesforce building? Is that
It's a huge ugly skyscraper.
And there's nobody in it?
I just read the other day they said it's virtually empty.
I bet you could get an office there for next to nothing then, huh?
Yeah, the commercial real estate in San Francisco has collapsed. They say a lot of banks are going to be stuck with the commercial properties now. So.
Wow. Well, if you need an office, I bet you could get one for next to nothing in those buildings.
Yeah, they're actually talking about converting them to apartments.
Really? Oh, boy. Here in New York, a lot of the office buildings are empty, and they're empty basically because what happened is during COVID, a lot of these companies switched to everybody working from home. And as a result, the office space became a thing of the past. So
I know the Apple, who's got that enormous building in Cupertino, I think they're kind of pissed because they want their employees to come back, but most of them don't want to come back.
Well, once you get used to working from home, and there's nothing to say you can't be just as productive from home as being in an office. And I think that they should think about that the productivity of those people actually probably goes up a little bit. Only because they're not because how much time do you waste in an office? They had a thing on CBS Sunday Morning this week about companies that the worst thing they're doing is holding meetings. There's like a meeting every day, and the meetings go on for a couple hours, and nothing gets accomplished in those meetings. And if anything,
we do that in radio all the time. We had meetings.
We have meetings, and the thing is, you have meetings, and they said that if it's especially a bad meeting, it has a deleterious effect on your company, because what you're essentially saying is everybody goes out of the meeting, goes, "Wasn't that the worst meeting ever?" And they said that's not good for a company. It's better that you hold.
Yeah.
And then they showed how much it costs to hold a meeting in actual physical time of the people there and how much they're getting paid, and it's enormous. And the meetings don't amount to anything. What they are is, I think, probably a power display by your bosses. So
it's mostly just somebody wanted to yak on. It was a waste of time.
An absolute waste of time. And they made a big, they said that they should stop doing these things. They should stop doing these meetings. Well, we have a friend, for instance, who works at a company, and they want her to come in twice a week. Now, why the coming in twice a week does anything for her productivity, I have no idea. But as you say, some companies like Apple are saying, we want our people in here. Or we want them in here 2 days a week or 3 days a week. Well, how does that an advantage over the person sitting at home doing the work the other 3 days of the week? It doesn't make any sense. It all has to do with power. We have an office and we want to see our employees.
Yeah, they probably think if you're at home, you're screwing off. So.
Thank God we never had to work for a company like that. Even when I worked at Sirius, I don't think we ever had any meetings. that I can remember. I think a couple of times we had company meetings where they would have an auditorium they would rent out, and we would all go to the auditorium, and the boss would give us a report on how the company was doing and so on and so forth. But it was nothing where you were discussing how you were going to do business, you know. So that's that. But anyway, you know, we haven't talked about death today.
No. Well, we did it last time, so you don't want to overdo the death thing.
We can't. Well, you and I cannot get enough about the death thing. You know, I mean, do you wake up every morning like I do, saying, "Is this the day I'm going to die?"
I think more and more about, like, man, is this going to be my last year?
Yeah. Well, you used to have a saying about death and about knowing when you were going to die. Do you remember that one? You remember that? Go ahead, tell them.
It'd be great if you knew what day you were going to die, but not the year.
Yeah. Good idea. Great idea. I don't know. Would I want to know when I was going to die? Nah. You know, I mean, but then again, you keep wondering. At my age, you especially wonder. But then, you know, we were talking about all these people that had died at like young years, like Peter Lorre, you said, died at 30, at 60. And you think about that, and you go, well, you know, I could have died all these years, and I didn't. You know, so I wound up to this age, and of course I'm getting to where, you know, it's getting into that tunnel, right, that you're walking down, but still, I could have died at 40, you know, and then never become the legend I have. So, you know, but
well, most people, I think I think they like it, but they don't want to talk about death at all. But
Marjorie, my wife, says she'll be happy when she dies. You know, I said, why? You know, she has no fear of death. I have a great fear of death. Always had a great, morbid fear of death.
Me too.
Yeah. And as I've told you before, I asked my father once, you know, I said, I'm afraid of dying. And he said, well, you shouldn't be. You've been there before. And I said, what do you mean? He said, before you were born, you didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And it's going to be just like before you were born. So then I went to bed every night having nightmares about what it was like before I was born. That didn't help much, you know. But he was right. You know, we've been there before. In that area of non-existing, I think is what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And it was you know, pretty good, you know. We were in that la-la land where we didn't exist. I just, can you get with that concept of not existing? I mean,
yeah, it's kind of like you said. It's just the time before you were born. I mean,
yeah, but it's hard to conceive of not existing, mainly because the only thing you know is existing.
Your existence, yes, and then suddenly you're turned off like a light switch, and that's it. That doesn't seem right, but
yeah. Now I'm jealous of all these, you know, Catholics and Baptists and so on, who believe that after they die they're going to a better place, because that all religion ever tried to do was to soothe people's notions of dying. You know.
Soothe and also keep them in line. So if you're a good person, you're not going to burn in hell. So.
Yeah, right. But I mean, so I you know, I have always been jealous of those people, because they really think that when they die, they're going to go see Uncle Harry and Aunt Mary and their mother and their father and so on. Like right now.
And I guess you got to hand it to them. I mean, if you actually believe that, you're probably happier than we are.
I mean, I hope that's true. I hope that is true.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope that all these years I've been putting down people for believing in something which, quite frankly, I can't start believing in. All right? and that I hope it's true, because then maybe I will meet, Aunt Mary.
It would be hilarious.
And Uncle
Look,
Harry.
there's Monty Hoffman.
Yeah, meet my Uncle Harry. Wait a minute, I never had an Uncle Harry. Well, you do now. Yeah. But I mean, it'd be nice if I could think, hey, I'll die, and finally I'll be with Shecky.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Be nice if I could spend well, maybe not that nice if I could spend the rest of my eternity with Shecky. That might be hell, actually, if I think about it. And I love that guy.
Great things I missed is that I never got to meet Shecky.
You never did meet Shecky, did you?
No, and he just sounded like such an interesting guy, and all the stuff that he had. And
yeah, no, he was definitely an interesting guy. It was, what bothered me about his death most of all was all the information he had in his brain about movies and about television shows and so on, and a life spent watching these movies and putting them in an archive and so on. And that all of a sudden you die, and it's like turning on, as you say, a light switch, turning off a light switch.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I see him lying in the hospital bed, and the next day he's dead, and all that information, poof, gone.
Yeah.
And you go, why did you spend your whole life accumulating that information? And I do the same thing. I mean, I accumulate a lot of trivial information. I love trivial information. And I have a lot of it in my brain, and once I go, poof, it's gone.
Gone.
That's it. But, I just, so the futility of that bothered me, That I had nobody to call anymore when I saw a movie and wanted to know, who was this guy in this movie? Tell me about him. And he always had the information. I could.
He was like Alexa.
Well, yeah. Actually, he didn't. Past say 1960, I don't think he really cared about movies that much. He really cared about the old stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way. I mean, I have always been interested in what happened before I was born. And I think my father instilled that in me, because he would talk about certain actors or actresses that existed before I was born and tell me all about them. And so I got liking that information. I mean, the fact that today the woman in movies that I would most want to have sex with is Clara Bow.
Clara Bow.
And
up at 25.
And everybody would go, who's Clara Bow? And I could sit here and tell them, and they wouldn't understand the enormity of her popularity when she was alive, when she was in the movies. And she was the biggest star worldwide. No question about it.
Wow.
For about, I don't know how many years. I'd have to ask Shecky. Shecky, how many years was Clara? The fact was that Clara Bow was finished at 25. And she was adorable. Have you seen pictures of her?
I have seen pictures of her. Very cute.
Am I right? Just adorable. And she had a personality to go with it. And she was a wonderful person. See, her problem was, folks, I'm talking about a movie star most of you never heard of, and most of you don't care about, but she was a wonderful, wonderful star in that she never forgot her past, where she grew up. She grew up poverty-stricken Brooklyn, right? With a thick Brooklyn accent. And in Hollywood, they hated her because they all wanted to forget where they came from. And she didn't. She admitted to it. And there's this wonderful story about how this kid in Long Beach, out in California, wrote her a letter, and she read all her letters, all her fan letters. And he said, every week I go down to the pier and I sell newspapers. And it would help me. My family needs this money that I make from selling these newspapers, and you would be a great help to me if you could come down and help me sell them. She got in her, she had her drive her down to Long Beach, found this kid, and then stood behind his counter or whatever, selling newspapers with him all day. I mean, this was one of those kind of people who was just genuine.
That's a good heart.
In a business that was full of phonies, you know,
Yeah.
and people who wanted to forget their past. And she would go back to Brooklyn and so on. But there were rumors about her that she was promiscuous, that she had sex with every member of the University of California football team. Okay? No, she had a party where she invited them all over because she loved the team. But no, she didn't have sex with them. But that was the rumor that ran around, you know. So she really was hounded out of the business. And then sound came. And she hated sound, but her voice recorded very well and very likable. And there was no reason why her career couldn't have continued, but she just couldn't take it anymore.
Really?
She retired with her husband to Arizona, where he ran for, I think, Congress. And so she wound up in politics, but she didn't want to do that either. It's a very interesting life. It's a very interesting story about a very interesting person. But
See, no, I'm the same. But most people I know, especially younger people, they have no interest in anything that happened before they were born.
Okay, well, the other actress I'll bring up to you then is Marion Davies. You know who Marion Davies was.
She was hooked up with Hearst, right?
Right, but that's the most you know about her, right?
That's all I know.
Have you ever seen her movies?
No.
She was a great silent star. She was hilarious. She was wonderful. There's a picture called Show People that's a silent film that is available and everybody should watch. It's just a great comedy. And she was amazing. And her whole career was eclipsed by the fact that she was William Randolph Hearst's paramour. And people think, well, okay, she looked upon him as a sugar daddy. When William Randolph Hearst, at the time of the Depression, at the time of the Wall Street crash, literally was left with no money, she went and sold not only her property, she owned Columbus Circle here in New York.
Wow.
Not only sold her property, but all her jewelry that he had given her over the years, and then went to him with a check for $1 million and saved the Hearst empire.
Jesus.
So this is no hoochie mama. This is this isn't someone who was working overtime.
That's a woman I didn't think existed.
Yeah. Plus, after Hearst died, she went her separate ways because the family wouldn't even let anybody know that this was his girlfriend. In fact, when he was dying, she was in such bad shape, they gave her some drugs to put her to sleep, and she slept through the night. When she woke up, every trace of William Randolph Hearst in the house was gone. And this was her house, by the way. So this is how the family treated her.
Wow.
But she went into building hospitals, and she did that. She had the Marion Davies Center in L.A., all kinds of things. And somebody once said about Marion Davies that Marion Davies made up for the rest of Hollywood. That's an awfully nice
Great line, yeah.
comment to say about somebody.
Why isn't there a movie about her?
I think there has been, there have been, I think, movies about Hearst and Davies. But there's a very good one called The Cat's Meow that was done by Peter Bogdanovich. And it's about a situation in which Hearst had a boat, and they went out on it for the weekend with Charlie Chaplin and William Ince, I think, was the director. And they went out, and Hearst was very jealous of Marion. He knew he was older. He knew that he, perhaps couldn't live up to her expectations of a lover. and she felt she was having an affair with Charlie Chaplin, which I think she was. Okay, because Charlie Chaplin would have sex with anything that had a pulse. You know.
That's what I always heard, right?
M was underage, but anyway, one night, William. They say that William Ince was sitting on the boat, and he was talking, I think, to Marion Davies, and he thought it was Chaplin, so he took out a gun and shot him, and the guy died. And as soon as they got back to shore, they cremated the body so there couldn't be an autopsy. And it's rumored that Hearst had actually killed. I think it was William Ince. I may be wrong.
I think I've heard. Yeah, so he literally got away with murder.
Yeah, and the movie The Cat's Meow is about that. It starts out by saying some things are legend and some things are stronger than legend. And it's a really very interesting movie about that whole weekend and how it went down, and the fact that Luella Parsons was on the boat, and she covered for William Randolph Hearst, and therefore wound up having a job for the rest of her life with the Hearst Corporation. So it's a very interesting movie, and
I got to see that.
That whole relationship that she had with William Randolph Hearst was not as most people think it was. You know, they were together for 35 years. You know, this wasn't some temporary thing, and she thought the world of him. She referred to him as Pops. You know, and she was very much in love with him, but of course, you know, he was an older man. He couldn't live up to some of her sexual expectations, and so she had a few little dalliances on the side, shall we say? Yeah. But another great story from silent films. People will never remember. You know. I mean, we talk about Mary Pickford. Mary Pickford, biggest star, female star in the world at one point. You know, married to Douglas Fairbanks, one of the biggest stars in the world at that time. They had a house down in Hollywood called Pickfair. You know, probably the first time they'd ever done that. You know, putting those two names together. You know, because today we call couples. You know. Brangelina, you know, things like that.
Well, but nobody today will achieve the fame that those people had. It was worldwide.
Yes, no question about it. You know, I mean, we think of people today as stars, and they don't even begin to come up to the level of a person like a Clara Bow. There's no female star alive today that has the popularity that Clara Bow enjoyed worldwide. So, you know, I know you people find that impossible to believe, but that's true. And you know, so it's great stories to be had back then. Yes, folks, I'm old, but I don't even remember these people. I wasn't alive when they were stars. Okay, that's how far back this goes. These are people who had careers 100 years ago. All right,
and they're more interesting than anyone today.
Well, Clara Bow, I don't know the time frame, but I think she's 20s. Okay, her big period was the 1920s. So if that's so, we're in the 2020s right now. 100 years ago.
100 years ago, Jesus.
You know, and we should remember. We should remember these people. We should go back and watch those silent films, because if you think you love movies and all you know is, you know, a movie that was made 10 years ago, if you don't watch silent films, you've deprived yourself of some great movies.
I love silent movies.
Yeah. Just make sure they have a good music track with them that goes along with it, and they're restored to a condition that isn't terrible, and watch them. They're great. They're terrific. I love silent films. But, you know, this is my mania of loving stuff before I was born. All right? And anyway, so everything else going good. Oh, hey, what happened with your eyes?
Oh, that's been scheduled August, a couple weeks from now.
Oh, okay. I thought it already happened. But
No.
have you got a guide dog lined up? He's going to have cataract surgery. No big
Well,
deal.
yeah, which I'll probably, let's see if I can cancel this for the 8th time. So.
No, don't cancel it. Do it. Do it. It's simple. It's really amazingly simple. It sounds disgusting, but it's amazingly simple.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll talk to you later, Larry.
Yeah, you can, and my guide dog.
Yeah, and seeing eye something. For Larry Bubbles Brown. Thanks, Larry. Bye.
Thanks, Alex.
Now, in its 11th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Okay, thank you very much, Larry. Actually, that's an old one. We did a rerun because we had a problem with Larry. Hold on a second. I'm trying to adjust my audio here for myself. Okay, we only could do one the last time with him because he was in a rush. He had to go to something, and it's funny because in the last interview I did with him, I asked him about his eyes, which he hadn't had done yet, the cataract surgery. So he was going to have it, I think, like this week or last week. I can't remember which. And that interview we just did was from September of 2023. So he has still not gotten around to it till just now. So I thought I would mention that to you. Anyway, I think we should probably bring in what people there are here, and then we will. Let's see here. We will. Let me see here. There we go. There they are. There's some people already. Okay.
Boy, that was good.
What?
2020.
What
That
was
was good.
What was good?
Your discussion with Larry.
Oh,
That was really. That was, and thank God, it's like good. I'm not the only one that knows this stuff.
Yeah, what was you know something? I was in the other room while it was on.
Clarabelle.
Clarabelle. Yeah, my favorite.
It
My
girl.
favorite.
Yes.
I hope that when I die, if there is a heaven, I can meet her. Okay? And tell her how great she was. And she shouldn't have had that little thinking about herself, She was wonderful. I love Clara Bow. Anybody know who? Oh, there we got Marion Davies. There's Marion Davies. She was also another one who was great.
I told you about this book before.
Yeah.
Now that you said it was an old interview, maybe it was before I corrected you. This book wholly debunks that story about Innes.
About who?
Wholly about Innes or whatever his name is.
Ince. Yeah.
Ince. Yeah, that's a false story. It didn't happen. So this is.
That's according to that book.
Well, it's pretty authentic. They've admitted that it's false. The only time that W.R. William Randolph.
See, what's his name? Alan is bored because it's not something that interests him.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Did you hear the interview with
No, he probably didn't.
Yeah, they're talking about the cataracts and stuff.
Yeah, but
no, that was at the very end. He talked about the cataracts.
Yeah, well, I didn't get into the.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, anyway, I won't go through the whole story again, but basically, he got sick and he got taken off the boat and died, but he was not shot.
He was not shot.
He was not shot.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the rumors kept persisting for years.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But
anyway, this is a great book. I really.
I mean, she is the most misunderstood Hollywood star of all time. Everybody thinks she was only big because of Hearst. Actually, she saved Hearst's entire fortune. She gave him $1 million when he was down to nothing. Because she was quite wealthy. She owned Columbus Circle here in New York.
Yeah.
You know, and so, and she, if you've ever seen any of her films, she was hilarious.
So unfortunately, I haven't seen her movies, but I love to see.
Oh God, what was it called? Show People is the picture to watch. That's her comedic tour de force. And then she went into film. She stayed in films, and she did musicals, and she could sing, and she could dance. She could do everything.
Even though she had a stutter, she was very worried about going into sound films because she had a stutter.
You'd never know it watching her in a sound film.
The sad thing was she compensated by medicating herself with alcohol.
Okay.
And she became a very serious alcoholic.
Yeah.
And eventually killed her, but she was very talented.
Well, everybody has.
I wish you were still doing interviews like you did on the radio, because this Laura Gabrielle, she would be a great interview for you.
No, I'd love to.
Probably talk to her for hours.
I could probably find her anyway and do an interview with her now. You know,
she's the daughter of the science reporter on Channel 2, John Fowler.
No.
Okay.
I don't watch Channel 2.
Well, he's been gone for years. Well, Channel 2 is totally the dumper now.
Yeah.
But he was their science reporter, and he was fighting on climate change and other stuff. And she's his daughter.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, what's her name again?
Laura Gabrielle.
Okay. And the book is called Marion Davies. It's very easy to remember.
Captain of Her Soul.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Captain of Her Soul.
Yeah.
If you get a hold of it, you'll love it.
You know why she's misunderstood? It's because everybody went and saw Citizen Kane, and they saw how the woman in that picture was portrayed.
And even Orson Welles said, no, it wasn't her.
Well, he in later years, he said, I didn't want people to get that impression because she was very talented. And I had nothing but the greatest respect for Marion Davies.
Exactly. Yes,
so
exactly.
that's what that was about. But anyway, so terrific, you know. Let me see. I just got to do something here just to make sure we're okay. There we go. And what have I got to do? There we go. Okay, I just want to make sure we were going okay here. Anyway, so, and of course, I don't know where you'll find a book on Clara Bow, but I'm sure there are quite a few out there.
Yeah, I don't think they have done a movie about Marion Davies. That would make a great movie.
They didn't make a movie about her. They didn't make a movie about Clara Bow either, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Clara Bow, in case a lot of people want to know about Clara Bow, Betty Boop was created to a certain level to be like, what do you call it?
Clara Bow.
Clara Bow. Although the Boo Boop Doo was a Helen Kane, I think, was the artist who did Boo Boop Doo. So anyway, well, we're talking about stuff Alan doesn't care about because it happened before he was born, and I don't have any respect for anybody who doesn't pay attention to what happened before he was born. Yeah, okay. Anyway, that's why one of the reasons I like Mark is because immediately he said, "Oh, Clara Bow, yeah, I loved what you were talking about." See?
Why are you this picture marked behind you? This is the entrance to Mar-a-Lago, isn't it?
It could be.
Could be.
I wish it was that much fun, though.
Sorry. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, how's everybody feeling here?
Good.
Happy Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, you have the March 12th on your YouTube.
Why?
I don't know why that's what you've got, March 12th.
Oh, on the YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. I can change that. Let me see here. Let me change that while I'm sitting here. This shouldn't say the 12th. This should say the 13th.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll put 13. There we go. I didn't change it is what the problem was. Okay, and then I go save, and now I think it's probably changed. Yeah, it's changed. Okay.
Well, thank God for that.
Well, thank God for that. Yeah, well, again, I didn't do a show last night, but I had the thing set to go for today. But anyway, we're now okay. I think. You know. Let me just see here a second. Yeah, let me do this.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. It's 13 now.
Yep, it's all 13. Okay, we're good. So anyway, how you guys doing?
I was on the news tonight.
You were on the news tonight?
I was.
What, if we
I haven't seen it yet because I don't have a TV.
If we lived in the Bay Area, you were on the news.
Yeah, on Channel 5.
Okay, where did you demonstrate?
I was actually with one of the people I work for as a home care provider.
Mm-hmm.
We went to this place where they give away free medical supplies in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
I was picking up pads and bandages and stuff like that. And this guy comes up to me with his iPhone and he says, I'm from Channel 5. And we're asking people about what they think about the speed cameras in Oakland. And so I started talking to him, and he got out, he pulled a little lavalier on me, and he pulled up his iPhone and recorded us and says, oh, I like this. I think you're going to be on the news tonight, 6 o'clock.
What, Channel 2?
Channel 5.
Channel 5. Are they that cheap an organization? They're using iPhones now?
I guess so. I guess it's weird because, I was thinking, remember the TV show Max Headroom?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Remember when they were like had the reporters being their own cameramen and they would go around with this equipment,
Yeah.
And, so they would, do the interview and record the same. This is what this guy's doing, but he just has a little phone.
Well, they're doing that.
Max Headroom.
Yeah, they're doing that on some channels. Do have like some of the cable news outfits have people who go out with one camera and shoot the person and put the camera on a tripod and sit there and interview them.
Most of them do that.
Well, this is like, I mean, remember the days when they'd have a guy with a camera and he'd howl this big thing called, it was a battery for the camera.
Oh, we used to have to go out with tons of equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's just this one guy. He's got his little phone and hooked up.
Have you seen yourself on the news yet?
No, I don't have a TV.
Oh, well, you know what it was is that in Oakland, they have a guy going around. He's cruising with Asian and Latino men. I think he was trying to pick you up, Tom.
Oh, really? Well, he was certainly good looking. I wish he had.
Well, there you go. Sorry.
I wish he had picked me up. He was a really good looking guy.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, we, what did you say about speed cameras?
Well, I said, here in Berkeley, I mean, the flock cameras, and I would just tell them how we have concerns about our data being given by flock to ICE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then he got talking about, that Oakland, they're promising they won't share it with the government. And I said, well, that's okay. But I think, there are other ways that we can reduce traffic jams by improvements in the infrastructure. So I got to talk to him about this thing called Vision Zero, which is has a goal of having zero traffic deaths and major injuries by 2028. So I got to talk about traffic nerd stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good. We got here. I don't know if you got this in California yet, but here in New York, we have certain areas which are considered, what's the word they're using now? In other words, you go below 69th Street in Manhattan or 79th Street, and they charge you extra money.
Yes. Congestion pricing.
Congestion pricing. Are they doing that in California too?
We don't have that yet, no. But
they do have those express lanes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's bad enough that the cost of gasoline has gotten so heavy and high that now here in Manhattan, the other day I went from here to, which is 116th Street, down to 60th Street. Okay, cost me $61 with the tip.
What?
Yes. That was taking a lift, but still, they weren't that much higher. If I took a cab back, it was $15 less.
Okay. Yeah.
So give me that what again? That was a real what? That was a good what?
How much would it been to ride the subway?
$2.50.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's the subway. Lately,
What's wrong with the subway?
lately they throw old people onto the tracks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not the nicest transportation.
The train runs lighter that way. They don't use up as much fuel.
Yeah. Anyway, so, but $61. I went, what? You know, that ride used to cost me, with the tip and everything, about maybe 40, taking a lift. It's amazing. Just amazing.
Fuel here has gotten really crazy too. When we got here, it was at least $1 cheaper than California, and now we're up. I paid, let's see, $3.89, and that was with us 11 cents off, so it was 40 something for diesel.
Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah, I know.
Diesel is expensive in California.
Well, it's more than
right
premium used to be. It's the
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the contractor is working
back
next
in,
door here.
California, I
about
was
diesel.
seeing $5.25, $5.50, and sometimes $6 for diesel.
Wow. Turn up your mic a little bit,
Yeah,
would
it's
you?
A little bit far away from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Diesel here in the Bay Area right now is selling for about $8 a gallon.
Probably at Chevron, but I don't think it's that high everywhere.
I don't know why Chevron thinks they're the most expensive, but I don't know. I went to
the shortest trip to the refinery.
Oh, is it?
Just going to Richmond.
To Richmond, right?
Yeah.
So, I got gas at Valero and standard non-premium, just regular gas, was $4.95 a gallon.
Wow.
My wife paid $5.25 when she went down the Bay Area the last few days.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, that's a cheap station around here, but Valero is good fuel. But you know, a lot of times I go to the 76, but the 76 has gone up $1 more than Valero a gallon. And when you drive a big vehicle like a van, like I have, you start looking around at stuff like that.
also, if you find a gas station that is near a highway, right off a highway,
work anymore.
it's always
Doesn't work
higher
anymore.
there
Yeah,
than anywhere else.
It used to work, but it doesn't work anymore.
Oh,
You used to
really?
be able to get your fuel cheaper on I-5.
Really?
And now they're nailing all the trucks and stuff, so they're getting more for the fuel on I-5.
Oh, boy.
Huh.
Oh,
The
boy.
thing that pisses me off about the whole fuel thing is these guys go and, you know, your fuel, you could have a Chevron truck, well, not necessarily Chevron, but you could have a Valero truck, a Rotten Robbie, another one, and they could all be going to the same depot and get different pricing there. And then they go and take it to the gas station and dump it in the ground, and the price goes to, say, 25 cents. Well, then somebody on TV, like jerk fuck up there in the White House, says, something, and it goes up another 25 cents. They immediately put it up another 25 cents.
Okay, but let me ask
They
you.
paid the lesser price
Yeah.
at the depot for that load of diesel.
But let me ask
fuel.
you this, okay? Is this gouging? Because,
To me, it's
let's face it,
gouging.
okay, if they're making the gas harder to get in the Mideast, enough time hasn't gone by.
As soon as they said they hit a tanker, the shit goes up. When
Yeah,
Richmond has a
but that-
refinery fire, the price goes up.
Yeah,
and
but-
then when it comes time to go down, it takes months.
Okay, but here's the thing. There's no reason for it to go up yet.
Right.
Okay,
They
because
just anticipate a shortage.
yes, exactly.
that's my point. Is,
And what I'm
you know,
saying
these
is
guys go to the depot and fill up their tankers full of fuel, right, at $1 a gallon. Then they take it to the gas station and they sell it for $1.25 a gallon. And then the price goes up because, you know, President Trump farted, and it goes up 50 more cents. Well, they immediately put it up 50 cents, but they still only paid $1.25 for that load from the depot. So they're increasing their profit right away, and then they leave it hang up high. And as the price goes up at the depot, then they raise it up from there. And then when it comes down, it goes up like a rocket, comes down like a feather.
Yep. If it comes down that much. Sometimes when prices
it steps down and it never gets to where it was.
Right. Exactly.
This Valero station a week earlier, I paid $4 a gallon. Now I'm paying almost $5.
My wife saw it go up 20 cents in 3 hours.
Well, let me ask one other question here, which is going to really be hard on you. Anybody here have stocks?
Yep, sure do.
Mm-hmm. Do you, Kevin?
401k, you got no choice. You got
Huh? How bad is it doing?
I haven't looked. I don't care to.
Don't look now.
No, and I just sold my house, so I don't even want to look even more.
Yeah. No, it went. I mean, it's. I've lost about $40,000 in the last week.
I can believe it.
Now, doesn't this asshole who went to where did he go to school? He went to Wharton. Doesn't he know when you do the things he does, it's going to affect things like the stock market and like the gas prices? Or does he? I mean, he's got to know that it's hurting the entire world.
He was bragging when the Dow went to 50,000.
Well, it's now down to 46.
46,558 as of today.
Yeah.
He ain't bragging anymore, is he?
Well, he isn't talking about it. Let me put it that way.
It's not just fuel either. It affects everything. It affects anything.
But you know something? All these people get together, and they're news people, and they're the press corps, and they're there, and he can't keep his mouth shut. He'll do a presser every time he can. Okay, not one of them has said. You said you bragged a lot when it went over 50, but now it's down around 46. What do you have to say? They don't ask that question.
They're afraid of him.
I mean, it's ridiculous. They don't ask him any of those questions.
Nope.
And then, I mean, well, I don't think we hit the girls' school. I think that was Iran.
Yeah, right.
Didn't know anything about it.
They said in yesterday's news or today's news that it was an old map, and it used to be a bomb-making factory 40 years ago.
Well, why don't you update your information, your data?
Really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't believe it. I don't believe that there was no map. I believe they hit the school on purpose.
I mean, I wish we were in wacky land right now, but we're not even in wacky land anymore. This is getting terrible. This is horrible.
See, Alex, you and I and a few other people on your show, this is not going to affect us financially much. We could afford to live without the extra money in the stock market, without the extra money here and there, because we're well invested. But some people that come on the show, Charlie, for instance, he lives on Social Security mainly, and if something happened to Social Security, he'd be out on the street. He'd be living in his car.
Yeah.
And that's a shame.
Well, I mean, it's horrible what's happened to people, and to people's money, and to just the world in general. I mean, this man is a horrible, horrible person who I don't know what Wharton taught him, but certainly it wasn't anything of relevancy, because he didn't learn anything about it.
No.
Well, it was the hardest school to get into the United States, is what he said in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Just so you know that.
Well, for him.
Yeah, for him.
For him. Here's the thing. I mean, excuse me. what's been bothering me a lot, it has just been, now what was I going to say? There was a point I was going to make, and I wanted to make it tonight, and I can't remember what it was. That's because I'm losing it. But anyway, I know what it was. For the last, I'm going to say 40 years, I have been saying when I've been doing talk shows that I was worried about the existence of Israel because when a state decided to say they were a religion, then anything that state would do would be blamed on that religion. And in my case, I felt that it was dangerous for Israel to call itself the Jewish state. To call itself Israel is fine. To say they, they are a country that's based on what was the? I'm trying to remember the theory that they lived under. But anyway, the point was that I was always worried about Israel calling itself the Jewish state because I said if that Jewish state ever does anything that incurs the wrath of the rest of the world, then I'm going to be blamed as a Jew, and I don't have anything to do with Israel.
Except for it's that way in every country.
No, but what I'm saying is it's not that way in every country.
Sure, it is.
Well, name one.
So if something happened in India and they fired a missile at Trump or at the United States or something, all Indians, all people from India are going to get attacked. Maybe not physically, but with words.
Well, we probably blame the country of India, but we wouldn't.
Right.
It wouldn't be logical to dislike all Indians. Okay. I mean,
it's not logical at all, but it happens.
Well, it happened with Japan, as an example, during World War II.
Good example.
But all I'm saying is that, like, for instance, this guy day before yesterday, went and drove his car into a synagogue school.
Yesterday.
And, his family, by the way, lived in Lebanon, and 3 members of his family were killed by Israel. Okay? So, I mean, while we don't agree with that kind of action, where he was stupid is he equated Jews with Israel. And you can't equate Jews with Israel. Jews are Jews. Israel are Israelis. Okay? And his big mistake was that he went after Jews in general because of what Israel was doing. And I knew that day would come. I just knew it would come, and we're here. And all over the world, there are incidences now of anti-Semitic actions by people based on the fact that they're just going to blame the Jews in general for what Israel does. Okay?
I'm going to become Catholic next week.
No, well, my fear came into being. Anybody disagree with me?
Good point, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with what Tom just
said. I don't want to be blamed for what Israel does, because if I were the head of Israel, I wouldn't bomb Iran, But it's terrible. It's just terrible.
I got a message from
Phil.
Yeah. Today, and he says, "Can you believe it? The people in what's the country we're bombing now again? Iran sent a missile that explodes a bunch of different ways into Israel and killed a bunch of people or injured a bunch of people or something." And I'm like, and this is a surprise? It's a war,
Yeah.
Israel is firing missiles into their country. They're going to fire back.
Yeah. No, that's only logical. What do you want them to sit there and do nothing and say, "Oh, come on, just bomb the crap out of us, and we'll just sit here and take it"?
I thought it was kind of strange.
You don't start a war like that. You try to come to some kind of accommodation. Hello to Bree, by the way.
Hello.
Well, that was a happy hello.
Yeah, I'm just looking at.
Well, there you are. Where are you today?
I'm waiting for to go to lunch.
For lunch?
Yeah.
Are all those other
Yeah.
people waiting for lunch too?
They are. The place will open in about a minute or two.
Oh, okay.
It's a very popular place. You have to be here right when they open, or you won't get a seat.
What's so popular about them?
This is the place that's authentic Japanese. You guys have seen it many times, but it's very inexpensive, but it's very good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. By the way, Tom, you were not you were interviewed by Channel 5,
Right?
And somebody said that they saw it, and you were interviewed on CBS TV today, which would be KPIX, I guess.
The local affiliate. Yeah.
KPIX, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Which is Channel 4.
Yeah.
Channel 5.
If they archive that piece, I could probably see it here because all the CBS stations in the country.
It's actually on the website. I haven't played it yet, but I've got on my browser. I got the link to it. Yeah, it's about as I said, the speed cameras.
Yeah. Any thoughts on what we were talking about, Mark? I know that you're kind of for Israel, but doesn't that worry you that people are starting to equate Israel with Jews?
It's always been like this. So
so it's stupidity.
And at this point, it doesn't serve any good lobbying. People don't realize how close everything is in that part of the Middle East.
Yeah.
People forget Israel's about the size of the state of New Jersey.
Yep.
Come on. And at this point, it's like, really?
Yeah.
Now we're part of this conflict, and it's like, really? We're getting this?
And yet this president has never given a good reason why we went in there.
Oh, he has.
Oh, yeah? Which one?
He's given 100 of them.
100 of them. Okay, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. That's your painting. Pick your favorite. Pick your favorite, Alex.
Yeah, okay.
So, but the thing is that the British got us into all of this. It's the Brits' fault.
The British got us into this?
Oh, yeah.
How's that?
Balfour. Yep.
Oh, you're talking about years and years and years ago, the Balfour Declaration.
Right.
And Balfour wasn't even a Jew, and he wasn't even living in that part of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is they nationalized the oil pumps, and they didn't want to compensate at first. And they kicked all the Brits out, so the Brits asked the U.S. to, hey, can you guys help us out here? And we did, unfortunately. And then they took our people hostage, and it's just been ever since then. There's always been an issue.
Yeah. But anyway, how about you, Josh? How do you feel about all this? Any opinion on this?
What specifically? I mean, the first question you asked? Or?
Well, the whole general thing the thing I talked about, which is that as a Jew, I always worried about the fact that having a state, a government that called itself a Jewish state would someday come back to bite me in the ass.
Well, I think that's kind of existed for a while, really. I mean, there have been people who generally equate Jewishness with.
Well, I know that it's existed.
Israel.
I know that it's existed for a while, but I said it was going to be a problem someday.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I think it has been for a while, really. But I mean, it is, and it shouldn't be. Obviously, I mean, if did people blame the IRA or blame the Pope, for example? I mean, with Catholicism, or if Italians do something, do we equate them with the Catholic Church?
I don't think we ever did, actually.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We really don't. So, I mean, the Jewish part of it, shouldn't be part of the equation, I mean, Israelis sort of have that of their identity, and they claim that for themselves. They're happy to do so, but when you judge their actions, I mean, you should judge them as a human being. If you judge them otherwise, you're just judging them on the fact that because they're Jewish. I mean, which is you shouldn't.
Well,
judge
I've
someone
always
just on their
been
religion.
I've always been bothered by Jews who were pro-Israel just because it was Jewish. That you can't
Right,
agree
that's
with.
kind of what I'm saying is, you should
can't
judge,
agree with everything they
right.
do because you happen to be Jewish. If they go and bomb another country, and that was the example I used to give. What if they go and bomb another country? Do you want that to reflect upon you as a Jew?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying is, so it can work both ways. People who are Jewish shouldn't always agree with or defend, Israeli actions, even if they believe that they are wrong, simply because that is the, Jewish state, if you will. I mean, if you are a Jewish person and you follow and you think they're doing something that cuts against your beliefs, then you should disagree with them, right?
My father always taught me what it was to be Jewish, and none of this was what it is to be Jewish. We were a people who didn't do this kind of thing. In fact, the United States was a country that didn't do this sort of thing.
And Donald Trump wasn't president.
And Donald Trump isn't an American.
No.
He really isn't,
I don't see how it ends. It just seems like it's sexual violence. Is there anyone who believes that there's an end point? I don't think so.
The end point would be if suddenly Trump and his administration became rational, but I don't count on that happening anytime soon.
2 weeks ago, Trump said the war was almost over.
What? You could think of as what? Bree?
Go ahead, Bree.
Nuclear. If it goes nuclear and everything just gets leveled all over the place. Nobody's
going to use a nuclear device. Okay? Look, wait a minute. How many years have countries had nuclear devices, and what is still the only country that's ever used one? Us.
Yeah.
And that was how many years ago? As long as everybody has had a nuclear device, nobody wants to attack them because nobody wants them to use a nuclear device. So that's a form of protection. And that's exactly
Actually, that's a theory called mutually assured destruction, or MAD.
Yes.
But there's no guarantee that that's going to hold.
In how many years since we?
Remember Dr. Strangelove?
Mm-hmm. That was a fiction.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you, Daniel Ellsberg said it was probably the most accurate film of a possible nuclear war that he's ever seen. He was scared by it. Really
well,
scared.
I mean,
Alex, you asked a question.
Yeah.
You said, of course they would respond. Iran would respond. But look at the Gulf countries. They haven't responded.
But you say Iran would respond, but Iran wouldn't want to respond because if they did, they'd be leveled they'd be a dust bowl, okay? I mean, nobody wants to use a nuclear device because they know what's going to happen to them in return. How many years have we gone with people having nuclear devices? And nobody has used one.
Yeah, well,
except
we didn't
us.
have Donald Trump in office either.
Well, but
I don't know. There's a lot of fanaticism in that region. So I don't know.
Well, it's religious fanaticism, and we can blame religion for a lot of this. But
which reminds me, remember the reports from last week that there are people in the Pentagon who believe this is a holy war.
This is Armageddon.
Armageddon. And that Trump has been anointed by Jesus.
He survived. God saved
cause
him.
the second coming. There are people who actually believe that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, oh
God
boy,
saved
we're gonna see Jesus.
Yes, and so they would welcome the nuclear weapons.
I'll
Now
supply the
we'll see
nails.
Jesus.
Tom, you bring the hammer. I'll bring the nails. Put them up and across.
You know, I mean, it's really, but all I'm saying is nobody has used one. And I don't think that the Iranians are any less irresponsible than we are. The fact is also, you got to remember, the nuclear weapons we have now are not of the nature of the ones that we had that bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They're much lighter, okay? They're much more pinpointed nuclear devices if they use them, but nobody's used them.
So instead of killing 200,000 people, you only kill 50,000.
Well, you know, how many people have we killed so far in Iran? Something like 20,000? Is that the current estimate?
2 weeks ago, Trump said the war is almost over. Today, he was asked, when's the war going to end? By somebody, I think, in NBC. I asked, because I was watching NBC, they interviewed him and said, he says, I don't know.
You know,
you can never go by what Trump says. You just have to watch.
You know, it's kind of interesting. There's this reporter named Richard Engel who works for NBC, and he's always right in the middle of the action.
Yep.
You know, he's always there. And Marjorie and I go, that guy's going to get killed one of these days, you know? He's got a family at home and everything. Why do you take that assignment? Well, he finally got hurt. But as opposed to he got hit by a bomb, he fell down and broke his hip or something. Broke his arm, and they had to send him back home. But that's, it said, Richard Engel injured, and we read the article, and I went, oh my God, what happened? He finally, you know, and it turns out it was just his arm.
Think about how much media goes into war zones when we're having a war, like Vietnam, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
have you ever seen?
They get shot.
Bree?
Have you ever seen there was the Weather Channel, and they're always like hunkered down in the rain, and then there was one guy who was doing that, like, oh, forget it. And then like a guy and his dog walked behind them.
Yeah,
like
yeah. Well, what happened is I saw one person reporting the weather, and he's out in the middle of the storm, right? And he's in the middle of this like creek, you know, and he's up to his knees in water, and he's reporting. And the fact is, right behind him is a what do you call it? Higher ground, as it were. And people are walking back and forth through it. And I'm going, why didn't you just stand up there? Do I want a weatherman who's really stupid, you know, and can't stay out of the wet? You know, but.
Well, they love it. My friend, you know, Bennett now, she's over there. Took the first flight over so she could, you know, be in harm's way. I don't know. It's something it's a badge of honor for them now.
Well, no, what I love is they send all these people over. The network send over their, 6:30 news guy to stay over there for a week. And I'm saying, what are you going to be able to do over there?
Yeah.
Are you going to end the war? Yeah. Is that your job? What? No, nothing. Sad, really sad. But anyway, so where's this all going to end? I don't see any end in sight.
There's no end.
Will never. Every time you kill one innocent person, you create, 30 more that are against you.
Absolutely.
So in Beirut, in Lebanon, they're just creating more problems.
Yeah, well, Lebanon is being attacked not by us, but by Israel, I believe. You know.
We're going to have, I believe, terrorist acts happen in this country from people that are already here.
Mm-hmm.
Because of this war.
Well, no, what I'm saying is it's like this guy who went to that synagogue a couple of days ago and drove his car into it. He did it because his 3 members of his family, I think maybe his mother's father and a brother or something, got killed by Israelis.
Okay.
So he took it out on Jews in America.
How many people did he hurt or injure?
Luckily, none.
I think a security guard got injured.
That was just
Yeah.
going to be my point, Tom. A
Yeah.
security guard there, kind of like what we do here for the synagogues, shot and killed him.
No, he didn't.
No, actually,
no,
shot
the guy took a gun and killed himself.
Yeah, he shot himself.
Who the hell knows?
You don't.
Neither do you. Neither do you.
What do you mean? I said it was. I knew exactly.
If you were there, you would know if he shot himself. Maybe the police don't. Maybe the security guard doesn't want to take responsibility.
Don't try to. He shot himself. Okay.
Why would he do that?
Why would he do it? Because a lot of these people kill themselves. They're on a suicide mission to begin with. And when they find they're on the other side of it and they're still alive, they kill themselves rather than allow themselves to be caught. Happens all the time.
Okay.
You know.
Is that why all these people are shooting themselves in the New York subways?
Huh?
Nothing.
What did you say about the New York subways?
I don't know. You were saying that you don't go to the New York subway because you're afraid of old people getting run over.
Well, they shove old people onto the tracks.
So don't get near the tracks. Stay in the back until the train comes to a stop. You'll be fine.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you guarantee that?
I guarantee it.
Oh, okay. Good. Hi, Ray.
Hello.
How you doing?
Say good. Sorry I'm so late. I had to help Katie with the dog.
With the new dog.
Yeah.
That really
It's like having a
adorable. I was telling Marjorie today what an adorable puppy you have.
Yeah, thank you. She is gorgeous.
The black eye is what makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. See how she looks when she
Bilingual dog.
Yeah. No, we're teaching her everything in English.
Oh, okay. Anyway, it's just, we live in a world right now that's just, and there's nothing we can do about this president. You can't stop him. You say, hey, you got to go to Congress first before you can do this. And he goes, no, I don't. Make me go to Congress. You know?
Yeah, no, there's no stopping.
Huh?
I see a lot of foreign reporters. They're like, "Oh, well, the price of oil is going way up," and well, the public is going to be very upset at Trump. So he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. He's
what
got
can
an
the public
approval.
do?
He's got an approval rating that's about the lowest it's ever been for a president right now. Do you think that's dissuading him in any way? The fact that the
Doesn't look
stock
at it.
market is going down, does that dissuade him? The fact that 20,000 Iranians are dead, does that dissuade him?
I heard him say today to a Fox News host when they asked him when the war would be over, and he said, I'll know in my gut when it's the right time to finish. He'll know in his gut.
You know what we'll do what we've done with every other war we've been in recent years. We just proclaim victory and leave.
Yeah.
Even though...
Why doesn't his son serve? The British sent their kids to fight the war. They should send Barron.
I think, I may be wrong, but I think he's too tall.
Oh, I didn't know that you can be too tall.
Oh, yes, I think you can be too tall. Anybody know what I'm... Josh, do you know anything about this?
I don't know if they have a maximum height. I didn't think they did.
I didn't think so.
If they do, I would imagine it's...
I think they do only
some
because
kind of
if you have somebody who's
military
over a certain height, they don't have the clothing to fit him.
Not that I'm aware of.
I believe so. When I went into the military, I think there was a height requirement, a maximum height, and on the other end, a maximum small, I guess,
I mean, I do know you have to meet certain height and weights on the minimum, but I don't
I think
know.
that's more for equipment than.
I don't know there's a maximum for height. I do know they have a maximum for weight.
It says 6 feet 8.
But
Is it
but
6
I
foot?
mean, they may have.
Is it? Wait a minute. You say Ray 6 feet 8?
Yeah, I just looked it up. 6 feet 8.
And how tall? And how tall is Barron?
I don't know.
6 feet 7.
6'7". Okay.
I don't know. That was a guess. I'm sorry.
No, well, they'll find a bone spur
I think
somewhere.
he's in the 6'4" area.
Yeah. But why shouldn't? I mean, well, they don't have a draft right now. Although somebody was
Oh
bringing
no,
up.
he's 6'9".
He's 6'9".
Yeah, so he's too tall.
He's too tall.
Well, he probably goes to his dad's doctor, so it's probably wrong.
Yeah, probably.
Probably 6'5",
Probably.
6'4".
Yeah. But
Probably
anyway.
has hereditary bone spur.
Oh, you're right. Previous estimates 6'7" to 6'8". So he's right at the limit.
Wow. Wow.
But he'll get bone spurs.
He's 6'9"? Is that how
Well,
tall?
no, that's what they said, but I looked at something else. He says he's somewhere between 6'7" and 6'8".
And
That's tall.
what is the height requirement? Did you say
6'8".
6'8".
6'8" is the tallest. Yeah. So he's right there. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, I guess so. You know, but anybody. By the way, you know, it's on Amazon Prime now. Has anybody watched the Melania movie?
No.
Marjorie and I did. Well, excuse me, we watched 3 minutes of it. We couldn't take more than that. That is one boring ass movie.
I would
I need to
rather
get
watch
really
a
stoned
bull
before.
go into the bathroom. Well, I didn't go to the bathroom.
A what going to the bathroom?
A bull. I'd rather watch a bull shitting in the field than watch a Melania movie.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, curiosity
No
made me
interest
want to
at all
look
in
at
either
it, but
one.
you know.
Just boring.
Huh?
Just boring.
It's just boring. It's just her
Her
trying on
nothing.
clothes and getting ready for the inaugural.
Right. She follows. Isn't it a thing where she follows him around for 20 days during the last 20 days of his whatever you call it, that he was running for president?
No, he was getting ready for the inauguration, and so she was picking out clothes to wear to the inauguration.
And that was the whole movie.
But I didn't get that far.
Oh.
I think it has a surprise ending. They all die. You know. God, wouldn't you? That would drive people crazy if you made a movie called the Trump movie, and in the end he dies. You know. But then what do we get? You know, the more things change, the more they stay the same. I mean, good example of that is what just went on in Iran. Who's the head of Iran now?
Some other Khomeini.
The son of the former mullah, the former head of the country, who got killed. So now he's the head of the country, and he's worse than his father was. More of a militant than his father was.
And he's in hiding because he knows he's a target, right?
Oh, well, you know, it's probably all the other members of the family said, like all the other 36 brothers and sisters went, make him, we don't like him, make him the head of the country. You know. But, I mean, no, they don't know where to find him. He's made statements, and they've shown videos, I think, of him making those statements. But that's it. That's as far as it goes.
And
you know.
AI can't figure out where he's at, huh?
Huh?
And AI can't figure out where he's at.
AI, no, it can't. Well, how's AI going to figure out where he's at?
I don't know. If he did an interview when he was in a park, AI takes the background of the park and says he's in Central Park.
If they took it inside against a white wall, it never could figure out where he is, okay?
That's why they used a translator and someone else to. They didn't show him.
They didn't show him. They just used a translator.
They just used a translator.
And they just bombed the translator, by the way.
Spokesperson.
Yeah.
They pushed him in front of the train in New York.
How about you, Josh? If I can drag you into this kicking and screaming, what do you think about what's going on over in Iran?
Well, I haven't seen any real evidence or proof that, any of it was necessary. I don't buy the arguments put out by the administration or trust what they've, what they put forth as their reason. It's, hasn't been very good to me. So I certainly, like everybody, was not for the leadership in that country, and certainly think the majority of their people are probably very good people and don't like the regime either. But
See, I would disagree with you on that. I would disagree with you on that because that is a very religious country. And when you saw tens of thousands of people out in the streets celebrating the fact that the head of the country had died, you had hundreds of thousands out in the streets, maybe millions, crying and feeling horrible over the death of this guy. So, really, because it's a religious country, to say that, majority of people didn't want him is not true.
Well, I don't know if they do or they don't. I'm saying I don't think the people of Iran have really had the ability to make their own decision.
Well, they never had the ability to make the decision way back when either, when we put the Shah in.
Right. That's what I'm saying is, there's been no real obvious, democratic notions there for a very long time. So, my disagreement, or I don't know if disagreement, but like my issue now is all of the factors, that we've been given for why this was done have been there for quite some time. So no one has really given me a good explanation as to why it started 12, 13 days ago. I mean, I haven't seen, and maybe I'm just not seeing these things, but I haven't seen any pictures of these, thousands of ballistic missiles, right? I haven't seen any pictures of all these things that they say they were doing and et cetera. And I know that they were doing, things, but what was different on that day that wasn't different, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, or, the first time that Trump was president? They keep saying that he's ending, he didn't start a war, he's ending a war. They started a war 47 years ago, and Trump is the first person who's had enough courage to stop it. Well, was he weak and feeble-minded in the first administration? What is, I'm just asking serious questions, and they don't really answer those. What they do is if you just ask a serious question that is legitimate rather than answer it, what they just do is they just push back and they just say, well, you're just for the regime. You obviously just don't care about the Iranian people. You don't want Americans to be safe. You're anti-American, and you have Trump derangement syndrome. I mean, those tend to be the answers, but those are not acceptable answers as to why people have to die, specifically Americans, and why we're basically spending outside of the budget, what's going to end up being tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars at some point.
Yep. Hey, listen, there's our theme song. We're running towards the end. Let me say goodbye, first of all, to our good friend Tom Yamaguchi. Thank you, Tom.
And I want to say to Bree, who's a day ahead of us, Happy Pi Day.
Oh, is tomorrow Pi Day?
Pi Day.
Well, today.
7/14. You know what today was? Today was Friday the 13th, and nobody made a big deal out of it.
It was a good day.
You had the wrong date on there.
My house closed. It was a good day.
It was a good day. And thank you very much, Josh, for joining us this evening. Mark Thorner out in Wacky Land, thank you for joining us. Alan, thank you for being here. Kevin, wonderful having you aboard. And Bree, nice to see you eating once again. You're either eating or working at your computer, one or the other. That's all you do with your life. And Ray, of course, as always, I want to say a big thank you for being here. And everybody wave goodbye, and I'll wave goodbye at you. Okay, folks? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel for tonight. That's our citizen panel for this week. We'll see you again Monday with the pop-up show, and that'll be on Facebook. Meanwhile, Amy is next with The Intersection. If you want to call her, you can call her on Zoom, and in order to call her, just go to gabnet.net, go to column 3, down to the bottom where it says Amy Manuel, and just just click on that, and it'll take you to her. I'll see you again on Monday, same time, same station in life, and in the meantime, as always, if you see her, yeah, you know what to do. Tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.